Photographer Terrence Moore is joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station show today to talk about his brand new book. It's called 66 on 66, A Photographer's Journey, and it highlights 66 of his finest 35-millimeter color film images. And this is such a beautiful story. It's a journey. It is. It's a chronicle of the Mother Road, and that goes from Missouri to California. And it features Terrence's photography, as well as a foreword by Michael Wallace, and who's a Pulitzer and National Book Award nominated journalist and historian of the American West, and an afterword by renowned photographer and historian Clark Warsick. I think these guys need to go on another road trip together. This is, I'm seeing this. Yes, there's a cool car involved in this. I do believe. Yes. Anyway, this book is out now. Go get it. 66 on 66. It's published by Schaffner Press, and you can get it on Amazon, schaffnerpress.com, BNN, all those great places. But very excited to have Terrence join us here today. Welcome to the show, Terrence. How are you?
Thank you. Doing really well. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I think it's time for a road trip. What do you think? I mean, is that something that runs through your blood? I know, right?
Oh, it does. Yeah, I get really antsy if I don't get out there fairly regularly.
Yeah, that's how we are. In fact, I'm taking your book on the road. Because
I knew you were going to do that.
I know. Well,
we're both like, okay, we have to go find these places.
I know.
I've seen some of them.
Yeah, we've been to some, but we haven't done the entire route yet, and we're about to.
Oh, yeah, that's a great goal.
Yeah. But now, do we need to do it in the blue Canoe? I wanted to say that so bad.
Well, here's kind of the traditional take on it from my point of view. I have always loved cars, and I've done many road trips or sections of major U.S. roads, or 66 for that matter, in lots of old vintage cars. And to me, that just sort of sets the tone for the trip. And it also slows you down, and you probably don't have air conditioning. You have the windows rolled down. You're more apt to stop. You're more apt to talk to people, and sort of get into the essence of whatever road you may be traveling. So the blue Canoe, unfortunately, has retired in my friend's front yard as a piece of sculpture. So it's going to take a lot to get that back on the road. But, the latest thing I've been considering, because I thought, well, I've done a number of things in old cars, with the highway. My latest venture, I hope to maybe be able to pull off this summer, is this coming summer, would be taking an all-electric car down the road.
Ooh, I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, something that, a plug-in, in other words, something that you have to plan your stops around having the plug.
Well, it's getting more possible. I mean,
I think it's going to go that way anyway.
We're getting that way, and I think it's a good thing, and it's interesting because then you could go to Hackberry and look at their old gas pumps and go like, sorry, not using that today, but to me, we do need to have that. There's that change happening, and going through your book, there's a warmth to your photography that just puts you in. It's like it's almost fluid. I don't know how to explain that, but it's alive. It's alive. Mm-hmm. It sounds
well,
like
thank you.
Yeah, it's alive.
Well,
and you feel like you're in a sense of place, and it's like timeless, And now it's interesting because Route 66 is changing, yet some of those icons are still there, a few, and yet it is this interesting place that we're in right now of change.
Yeah, definitely. And, some of the changes, there's a couple things happening. I mean, there are new businesses springing up that really aren't directly related to the old road, as we say, but they're also restoring a lot of the old buildings. And I was just up at La Posada, the hotel in Winslow the other day. That was completed in 1930, and Winslow is kind of a sleepy little burg, but the hotel was booked when I was there in December. So there's some icons along the road that have been restored now that are bringing people from all over, just to stay there. Even the teepees in San Bernardino have been restored, and the ones in Holbrook have been restored. So those are icons from from the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s that are now back to life, and you can take your family and stay there. You know, they're really nicely appointed and clean, and it's always fun. You know, so you know there's a lot of things going on, and then with the new designation, hopefully this coming year, of 66 as a National Historic Trail, that's going to also draw more attention to the highway, and ideally some federal funds to restore old signs, you know, fix up buildings, whatever it may be.
I'm very excited, and I know I've signed everything I possibly can, you know, for that, because to me, it's an icon. This is the Mother Road. It's an icon. When you think about road trip, that's the first thing you think of is Route 66. And Nancy and I actually, not to make you jealous, but in April, we're going to be on the road full time, 100%, going to every single unit in the National Park Service, so that includes trails. So Route 66, obviously, but also to document every single park we possibly can in the country. And
it's a wonderful idea. I am very jealous. Very jealous.
I thought you might be, but you're welcome to join anytime. We're not doing an electric car yet, but it might happen, you know. But it's really, this is phase 2. We did it for 3 years, and then needed to come back and produce. We feel like musicians. You go out on the road, come back home, and all of a sudden you have to
do stuff.
You took all this, you know, footage. What are you going to do, you know? So, but now we're getting ready to go for probably 5 to 8 years at least.
Wow, that'll be amazing.
Yeah,
that is kind of
really
a dream of mine, but I'm
afraid
yeah,
go ahead.
That's really wonderful. By the way, I have a friend who's a historian and librarian at Ventura Community College, and he is doing this on his own, the very thing you're doing. He's actually done most of it already. He might just keep that in mind. He'd be a wonderful person for you to talk to.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's taken his young son with him on most of it. So it's been quite a project, and he's able to kind of maneuver his time around to where he can do these things. It's phenomenal, and I always wanted to hook up with him.
You know, this is what I was really enjoying about your book too, and also reading the words, by Clark as well and Michael, because they talk about being a documentarian, and I think that's something that we've progressed into as just what we do with our careers, and it is this thing where I just feel like I have this incessant need to document things. Yeah, I know we're in the world of the internet and all this information out there, but I feel this need to document these places before they go away. I feel like, the concrete's coming, man. And Route 66 is part of it. I remember when Arizona really stood up for legislation on the trail. It was up in Seligman that we hung out in Hackberry and Peach Springs and that area. And we used to live out in 29 Palms, right by Roy's and Amboy.
I know that place so well.
So I'm so glad that's in your book.
Yeah.
But there's this thing about documenting, and it seems that you have that too, that need of doing it, but it's in an art style of providing sense of place. It's not just here's a document, but it's a document where you're going to feel it.
Yeah, I try to convey that as often as I can. I told someone the other day, he said, well, why don't you have more landscapes in your book? And I said, well, it was really three things, let's say, in retrospect. One is there's a lot of wonderful landscape photographers out there, and I'm not particularly one of them. I'm not a landscape great. I enjoy it, and I've done some, but I felt, leave that to the others. So I concentrated more on the specific landmarks that were, I guess you'd say, man-made, even though I appreciate the natural thing as much as anyone else or more. But in retrospect, I wish I'd done a few and included that in the book as well. I think it'd be kind of a nice, addition to the book. But, that's the way it is looking back always, of course.
Well, the reality is you just have to do another one. How about that? That's the reality.
Yeah, I could. I had about 300 images I wanted to cram into the book, and my wife said, Terry, you've been stewing about this for years, and you're never going to do it because you're never going to be happy with the layout because it's going to be so cluttered. And I said, but I've got to put these many in. I can't possibly tell the story. And she said, slow down, take a deep breath. How about 66 images of 66?
Yeah,
and
there you go.
That's how the book happened. It was her,
yeah.
urging me to kind of throw out the old shirts or whatever it may be. But you're right. I mean, in an odd way, I've got another book just sitting there, in the file cabinet.
Oh, cool! I'm in.
Yeah, because you could just be volume 2.
I know, because you could do different themes on it too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, listen, it's when you were in Winslow. So did you go to Holbrook where the lady inside the mouth of the dinosaur one is that still there?
Oh yeah. Well, the lady, I'm afraid, has been eaten and substituted by another woman and who's going in the other way around.
Oh.
It's pretty sad. He's picking them off slowly. But that particular woman that was being eaten the day I was there has vanished.
That's so funny.
Oh.
The aliens came. That's it. I'm telling you, it's the aliens. But this is so funny because when you look at all these icons, and there's just, I think people had so much more fun in the world of tourism than now. Now everything's slick and fancy, and there's no quirky, cool, colorful, like the murals and everything that you're photographing, There's this, it's street photography. It really is. And you don't think of it as street photography, but it is street photography, It's road trip photography, and I just feel like we need to go back to some of those vibes, man, for travel.
No, for sure. And that's something that came across, very clearly in my mind when going through all this material recently, is that a lot of these beautiful signs were painted by hand, by local people who were good painters, or maybe they came out to needles from San Bernardino or whatever, and they were freehand sign painters. Those people don't exist anymore, and that's one aspect of it. And then when I was up at La Posada the other day, I realized I had 4 images of Winslow in my book.
See?
And I thought that's really odd. I don't have 4 images of any other community along the highway. And then I got to thinking about it. Well, 2 of them, actually 3 of them, were painted by Hopi artists, and they're absolutely beautifully executed, and painted by a Native American. And that's the kind of thing that just doesn't exist any longer, or it doesn't exist with that same kind of expertise, let's say.
There's this thing for character of a place, and the more automated we become, the less character seems to be available.
We're losing our flavor.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I mean, part of the road trip thing is arriving to someplace different, whether you like it or you don't, or agree with how it looks or not. It's different, and that's why you went there. And I mean, I like all these. They've got character.
It's funny.
It's
the signs are funny, and the neon. Like we have friends, Jeroen and Maggie Boersma, that come over from Holland every year, and they are on a quest to photograph every neon sign. Really, because they're trying to. They're going away. The neon signs are going away, and so I'm really always happy to see them and see them in your book too. It's I don't know if we can recreate the neon signs the same. Is that the same as like the hand-painted parts that you're talking about?
Well,
doing those?
to a large extent that's true. I mean, first of all, it's the cost of building the sign and then making the neon, and then the repair and the maintenance it takes. One big hailstorm and half the neon in Tucumcari is wiped out, and that's fairly common. And so most people can't, unless they've got a really thriving business, they can't keep up with the maintenance. But that's where the Park Service has helped a lot. They've restored a lot of signs, and their people are coming from farther away to work on them. But there's still neon people out there. But then, of course, the new thing is to do LED and not do neon at all. And So there are going to be some changes whether we like it or not.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
But you can't keep everything the same. But that's why you got to treasure things. And I think this is where the role of photography through the years. And this is what's interesting about your book. This is not something you just went, okay, I'm going to go photograph Route 66, put 66 photos in a book. This is something that's been over your life of your travels there, and so we get to see things that we probably will never see again. Unless through your book it lives on. It's in a place that people can still enjoy. It's an amusement park. The road is an
there you
amusement
go.
park.
There's that time when people thought a certain way, and the signage reflects that time.
Mm-hmm.
What they had available and what they thought would stop a person on the road. Like what sign's going to make you pull over and book into that motel?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even motels are kind of going away too. It's kind of like motel versus hotel, and everything needs to be owned by a chain, and all has to look the same for branding purposes. And it's like you don't remember one hotel after the other unless there's something really different about it.
I want quirky.
Yeah.
No, I can't agree with you more. I mean, look at Holiday Inns, for example. I'm kind of an architecture freak as well, and look at the old Holiday Inns they built in the late 50s and early 60s. There were these beautiful 2-story, modern, drive right up to your room, lots of glass, just beautiful structures. And look at the Holiday Inns they build today. They're just this big plaster blob of yuckiness. They're not inviting at all. I mean, they don't have architecture. Yeah, it's not architecture. Even the chains have lost their way. It's very odd how people can't appreciate something that's really wonderful right under their noses. They've got to update it, mess it up, and change the character of it. It's a very odd way of looking at things.
We do have a headquarters when we do this massive road trip, so that we do have a place to crash and produce and breathe. And it's the historic Coronado Motor Hotel. It's in Yuma, Arizona. And this hotel is 78 years old now, something like that. And it's grown through the years, and they've taken on other properties. And basically it's on two sides of the street. It's on Old Highway 80, which is a new fascination
I'm familiar
for me.
with it.
Yeah. And they were one of the original Best Westerns. And they eventually said that will be enough of that, because the brand was trying to squeeze everybody into this other fancy new thing. And they stood up and just said, you know what, we're going to go back to the independent that we were before Best Western, because we don't want to lose our character. There's a certain thing that our guests, and this is part of history. And they even have a travel museum in there. Yeah. You should go in there. You'll like it. It's got all the old... I
haven't been there for a long time, but I've stayed there 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, that's our hotel headquarters. So we can just park outside we park right outside the door.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you don't,
Where do you live, by the way? You have a 760 area code. I'm just
that's
curious.
My cell phone. That was from when we lived in Joshua Tree area, but we're actually based in Tucson.
Tucson right now.
Tucson, Arizona.
You're in Tucson, Arizona?
Yes.
Interesting. So am I.
Yeah. See, so why aren't we on a highway doing this interview on the road?
Okay, I have to ask this.
Tucson's a good place.
Do you know when I say the Beast of Barstow, do you know who I'm talking about?
You ask everybody this.
I have to. I'm on a quest.
The Beast of Barstow?
Yeah.
I don't know the term. I don't know what it is.
Okay, the Beast of Barstow is an old man that looked like Gabby Hayes, that sat by the roadside when my parents used to take us out into the desert to look for rock hounding. And we always stopped at the Beast of Barstow, and he took gold paint and painted big blotches on just regular rock and sold it to people. And that was
full
one of
gold.
And it was one of our highlights, was to
what
go
a
see
nice
the Beast.
Story.
I love the Beast
I
of
missed
Barstow.
him. I don't know how.
It was too funny, but he'd chewing tobacco and he'd spit it at your feet, and it was just it was like being in a whole other world. So when I hear Barstow, that's what's in my mind is the Beast of Barstow, because that's what my parents called him.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
But
like the greeter at Laguna. Remember him?
Yeah, Neil the Star. That's what we called him.
Wow. Okay.
That's funny.
This is like going to the real road trip. Okay, so this is the thing. It isn't like an amusement park. You know, it's an amusement highway, but there's also this beauty to it. And the one photo is the Cadiz, and I'm passionate about that one piece of road because there's just something. It's like that. It's kind of reminds me of Joshua Tree, where the Colorado Desert and the Mojave is kind of connecting, and I'm passionate about making sure they don't drain all the water out there. So I just have to say that. So everybody, npca.org, check them out. Sign that they don't take all the water away and give it to Orange County.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's terrible what's going on there.
I just read a whole thing about it this morning.
Yeah, but this photo I used to drive out there all the time. Back in the day when our magazines were in print, that was part of my trail, and I'd be out there and driving around the Mojave Desert, and I used to love the Amboy area. I thought, and we found Amboy in Wonder Valley because we used to print in Vegas, and we took this route. This was before we moved to 29 Palms. We didn't know about 29 Palms, but I saw on the atlas, back in the days of atlases and not GPS, and I still do not use GPS, I use an atlas, there was the thing says Amboy Lake, and there's like a crater. And I'm like, Nancy, there's a lake. I didn't know. Let's go this route because we were based in San Diego at the time. Let's go this, let's go this way home. And of course, there wasn't a lake, but there was Roy's, and that place has changed names. It's changed hands. Like it's like somebody's bought the town of Amboy, right?
They bought it for $1.
Something like that. And you have it in the book.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Roy's was always a special place. I mean, I remember going in there years and years ago in the summer, and there'd be 100 cars in there, and, because everyone was driving at night because they didn't have air conditioning, and that was a watering hole, halfway between Barstow and the Beast of Barstow and Needles.
Needles.
And, yeah, it was a real oasis. And it's a wonderful spot. I still love it. I wish it would come back, but then the road's been in such bad shape there the last few years. I don't know if they ever get it all open again. It's
interesting out there because, well, that's another part I wanted to ask you because, there's the Route 66 and the iconic, here it's painted with Route 66 on the road, and a lot of it's faded everywhere, but everybody takes these photos of it, and it just is always this bright, like, I don't know. It just, they're probably taking it at noon. But your photography of the road, and what I love is that you're showing the character of the road. I don't want it to be a polished road. I know they need to fix things, but I don't want it to be. I don't want a slick road, man. I want what it is. I know you don't want millions of potholes. But you show the character of the road, the way you do your lighting and get down. One of my lessons that I've had from photographer friends is like, Lisa, you need to get down. But you obviously do get down to take that. But you manage to get this lighting part where it's like a shimmer, like the imperfections are the beauty, which it is to me.
Right. Yeah. A disappointing thing happened. I have kind of a sidebar. I was just up doing a little stretch between Los Lunas, New Mexico, and almost into Williams. This was about a month ago. And my friend that was with me had been up there for a long time, and I said, well, let's go out west of Parks, and which is just west of Flagstaff. You're probably familiar with it, the Park store. And I said, there's still some stretches of the road out there that's all worn and cracked, and it was the asphalt was mixed with the red cinders from the volcanoes in the area, and you could still see part of it in the movie with Dennis Hopper, and Peter Fonda.
Easy Rider.
Come on, ladies.
Easy Rider.
Yeah,
which we just heard about
from
our Hollywood history with Steve.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so we went out there, and I said, there's still some patches left out there that are red, and we've got to get some details of it right now. And it looked like the Arizona Department of Transportation probably within the last 6 months sealed it all up with nice black greasy tar. It's gone. It's the very thing you were talking about, and it was the essence of the old road in the Southwest. It's the only place I knew that still had that.
It's like when the billboards that used to say, okay, you're 3 miles from the thing, and then you're 2 miles.
Oh, that's down here,
the thing, and then now you're 1 mile from the thing.
In El Paso.
I love that stuff.
I know. It's fun.
It's fun.
And I love the lady in the dinosaur mouth. That's one of my favorite photos, honestly, because it's.
I'm glad
Godzilla
you like it.
Most
out. Women aren't real crazy about it, but so it makes me feel better.
Well, I can sing "Baby It's Cold Outside" and everyone will get mad at me.
And we like that song too.
Yeah, we do. But that road part, that there is a lighting and of this, but your story of that, like, that's the importance of this photography. Nancy is sitting. This is when we go off traveling, we just pretty much get rid of everything, and we have a small storage unit, and it's really to protect Nancy's slides, which we need to digitize. She has like almost 20,000 slides of Kenya when we lived out there, and she was photographing all the wildlife back in the day when you really saw like 20 to 30 species all at one watering hole. And we keep going like, okay, you've got Mount Kilimanjaro from back then. Okay, what are people going to want to look at photos from back then? But it just talking to you and looking at your book, that's the important thing, is it's not like that anymore. And this is the one pure way of preserving that time. Yeah. It's like a time capsule.
Right. Yeah. It's important, and it's great you have all those, Nancy. Dust them off.
I know, and I hope they're okay, that they've been stored for years.
All over the place, all over the world.
But
stored in the heat?
Controlled.
They have been?
Yes, I have them. I have to scan them all.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we have them all. That's the prized possessions of life.
Mexico, Canada, Kenya,
South Africa,
and England,
and Scotland, and Wales.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's about really 50 to 60,000. Is
it 50, 60? You think? Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of boxes, and I get to carry them.
Wow, you got your work cut out for you.
I know, and I'm like, when am I ever going to do this project?
I know. And then we're like, okay, we're going on the next adventure. There it is. We'll just keep storing.
I'm going to take something from your wife's contribution here of 66 of 66. So maybe I'll do like, here's so many of Canada, or here's so many of like Baja going to different places.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out at Whoo Song.
I want to know about your Baja book. I saw that you've got all these other books that you're part of. What was the Baja like? That I want to know.
Well, it was a similar impetus, actually. I was so appalled by the so-called new Transpeninsular Highway, that went in.
Yeah.
In the late 70s, early 80s. Well, it started in the earlier 70s, but it took a long time to get it built. But I was so turned off by it that I kind of set out to document Baja the way I wanted other people to see it, before it all got completely wrecked. And so my Baja book has kind of a similar theme, but it's not specific to the Transpeninsular Highway or the lack of the Transpeninsular Highway, but it's kind of showing Baja California in a more of from a natural history point of view, rather than let's go to the Cape and drink tequila and fall down and get drunk.
Yeah, more than the Whoo Songs. And we used to live. We used to live in Punta Banda, and that was like that's when you got off the road, off of the the highway. But that route is so beautiful. I mean, over the ocean it's to me one of the most beautiful routes you can take in the world. Yet, yes, it is now a la-di-da, and I just like that they have graffiti on the they. I like the graffiti. I'm weird, but
when I showed Lisa like Whoo Songs,
you were so bummed.
I was so bummed because when I went to Whoo Songs, the federales would come in and we'd all jump out the window and run down the street. And not that we were doing anything wrong, but it was fun and you could do it. And then when I showed it to her, it was kind of in a shopping mall kind of thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Now there's Walmart and all
it
that.
just
Pizza Hut.
it wasn't real Whoo Song.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen the new one. I'm glad I haven't.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
Okay, I have to ask. Did you jump out the window?
No, I never jumped. No, I didn't. But that's interesting. Wow. We had different takes on it, I guess.
Oh, wow. This is so interesting, the crossroads of life here, you know. We need to bring back the road trip. This is thing 2. With your book, you know, 66 on Route 66, 66 on 66, excuse me. There's the idea of also now you're looking at 35 millimeter versus now we're in the world of digital and cell phone photography. And so what are you still in the 35 millimeter mode, or did you cross the bridge into the world of digital?
Well, I guess I fought it off for a long time. I actually shot film until 10 years ago. And then I started shooting digitally. And
wow.
but I still prefer film. In all the shots in my book, I mean, you originally mentioned, Lisa, that you know, there was some kind of vibrancy with
the fluid,
with
the warmth.
my photos. Yeah. Well, it's mainly based on Kodachrome because probably 70% of the photos in the book were shot on Kodachrome, and that was just the way it read. And then I shot a few things in later years on Fujifilm. And then I think I have 3 shots in the book that were shot digitally. But that's it.
Oh, so now what if I know you're one of those last people of saying, okay, I'm going to fight it in like 10 years. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
What I'm scared is now they're going to take the mirror out of the camera. Now we're going to be stuck with the LED lens thing. You know what I mean? The viewfinder thing.
Yeah.
They're going to take it away.
Right.
Like now that sucks. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I prefer, I mean, I still shoot my digital camera on manual, and people say, why are you doing that? And I say, well, it's because I want to control it.
Yeah.
I don't want the camera telling me what, or making up its own mind.
The difference is if you are going to paint a picture, right, or you're going to paint by number. Therein lies the difference. If you're going to paint a picture, there is no point if you're going to paint a paint by number, and everybody who paints the same picture who bought the paint by number, and that was a big deal.
Except for you get to still control composition.
But no, when I was a kid and my parents would buy these paint by number like kits, where the whole am I dating myself or what?
It's
but
okay.
Anyway, the painting would come, it's all drawn out in little patches, and then each little patch had a number in it, and then your little oil paints had the numbers, and you would go, oh, number 2, go get the sky blue and put it in there, and it looked like a quilt by the time you were done. It wasn't really a painting, and everybody's painting looked the same because they're all going, oh, go get the sky blue, and I'm like, no, let's finger paint.
Yeah,
mess
exactly.
it up.
My brother-in-law has a collection of paint by numbers.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding? That is classic.
Yeah, my wife has a bunch of them too.
Oh no!
Wow.
I hope I didn't offend anybody.
So we're all sort of kinky, all of us, I think.
Yeah,
and here we are.
Good.
We're probably a mile apart as we speak. That's another.
I know, right? I know. Like, what side of town are you in?
North Central.
Wow, we're Casas Adobes, I believe. That's what I've been told. I don't know.
Oh, that's where you are. Okay, I'm 2 miles from you.
See, that's not bad, man.
Campbell. Skyline
oh,
and Campbell.
wow.
I'm looking out the window.
That's a nice area. You're up by DeGrazia Gallery, my favorite place in Tucson, DeGrazia Gallery.
Yeah, that's the first place I lived when I moved here.
Wow.
$45 a month.
Right there by DeGrazia's? Are you kidding me?
It was a part of his compound, yeah. He has a couple little houses there. And
Did you meet him?
No, he had passed away just like
okay.
the year before.
Oh.
But my
Wow.
friend Charlie Shelton, he used to do Desert Magazine and had the Desert Magazine gallery in Palm Desert. He knew DeGracia very well, and so his daughters and I they're like sisters of mine, and they used to come over all the time and visit him.
Did you ever meet Marion?
Indirectly, yes.
She's a firecracker. I haven't met her,
Mm-hmm.
but well, she's passed now. But Lance, who runs the gallery, he's on our shows all the time, and he tells me and tells Nancy and all of us some interesting stories about her. Like she was bossy. But
Right.
she's got great art, man. Amazing art. I just think she's cool. Like I'm into what she did, you know, and
well, the nice thing
vision.
is it's and it represents their compound, his art, everything represents what I consider old Tucson. You know, it had its regional character. You know, I mean, aside from the desert, more of the cultural thing, you know, the artistic thing, and you know, that was a real big thing in the old days.
And you're connected through that too, just because of, you know, when you look at Arizona Highway, you know, that is a magazine that is iconic nationally and internationally. The Arizona Highways. I mean, it really is.
Definitely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, when are you going back on Route 66?
Well, I'll be up in Flagstaff on the 5th for a book event, and then I'll be over in Albuquerque and Tulsa in January.
Okay, so we can give everyone your website. Is that one of the best things, TerrenceMoore.com, to go for those kind of things, for keeping up with you?
Terrence Moore Photography, Terrence Moore Photography. I'm just putting my new website together as we speak. Hopefully in the next
and I know you're on Instagram, too. I found you on Instagram.
Yeah, and I'm just starting that because I never have been a big social media person, and I just kind of joined up with Instagram, but I still have two left feet, and I've had a Facebook account, but I never posted anything on it until recently, and then I'm kind of in a catch-22 at the moment because to post something on Instagram, you can link it to Facebook and then to your website, but you can't do it the other way around. So I've got to learn how to do that. Yeah, I have to learn how to do that. I'm kind of,
I'll give you Instagram and social media lessons if you give me photography lessons.
Yeah, we'll trade. No, that'd be
like,
great.
When you're going to teach, do you teach? Do you ever do classes for people?
Well, I've never done anything like that. But again, my wife said to me, and she's been saying this for years.
Your wife is awesome.
And then my ex-wife said the same thing. She said, "You should do." No, they're okay. You know, she said you should do some workshops. And I said, well, you know, I really kind of have seen the light. I think that's kind of a interesting concept, and I do believe that we're going to do one out of Sedona this spring. And I think we may bill it as a 66 workshop, but also Highway 89. I think it may be a combination. Yeah. And I've done a lot of work on 89 over the years. So, you know, that area is rich. Yeah.
Yeah, and another book coming out on that? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was just a fluke this book happened, to tell you the truth. It's just, I mean, I'm really grateful to Tim Schaffner, who's my old book agent from New York, who now lives in Tucson, who published this, and it was his first photo book, first full color book. So, but we've been
that's a big commitment. Full color.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, anytime anything happens with full color, I mean, we were in print with our magazine, but high quality newsprint, all full color, and it got to be the more copies that we did, the harder it was.
It was so expensive.
Because it was not just the expense, but like the screw ups that were happening.
Oh, I
like
know.
we went to every printer in the sun. Like we kept moving around because it was so difficult. And you know, to me, I think now there's an interesting thing happening in the publishing industry. Now we're digital. I still really love a good magazine copy in my hand, but I think it's going to end up being more books. We're going to get more coffee table books, more like project books that come out. these conceptual books and like that. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to have that shift. Here's your digital, and then here's your vinyl record, man. And that's the thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I regret getting rid of my Country Joe and the Fish album and a few other things like that. But I chucked them all a few years ago, and now I'm going, wait a minute.
I know.
You had some classics.
I lost my collection, and it sucks.
Well, we moved.
But it went to a good person is a music, just a music freak. So I'm really happy about that.
Where did you two grow up? You have to tell me.
Okay, so Nancy was born and raised in L.A. She's my mom, so just
yes. No, L.A.'s a big
place.
You're a Hollywood girl.
And then Northridge.
Yes,
so I was born in Northridge, and we lived in Somar. Then we went from there to Kenya and lived in Karen. We lived out in the bush while Nancy worked with Joy Adamson, Elsa the Lion, Born Free. So we lived in the bush, and then Joy got murdered. I'm trying to do this on the fast way. Then we lived in Karen and Nairobi. Then we went to England and lived in a couple areas, Southport and Preston, there you are. And then she toured there for World Wildlife Fund back in those days, different time than now, in regards to the association, just saying. And she toured taking her African photography and her paintings, because she's a wildlife artist, teaching people about wildlife and preserving wildlife. And then we went to South Africa, and then she did a tour with our work and took me out of school for a while, and we toured the entire country for 2.5 years. And then she opened a magazine, and then we needed to come home so we didn't lose our passports. And then we came back to the States, and we lived in Florida, the Panhandle, and came to San Diego, then to Joshua Tree.
You forgot Mexico.
Oh, Mexico was in between there. So, sorry. It's been a long journey.
Where were you in Mexico?
Long, strange trip. Ensenada, south of Ensenada, in a little town called Punta Banda, right before the blowhole, La Bufadora.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the bad guys were recently.
Yeah. Well, dude, you'd sit and watch barrels of weed falling, they're washing up, and coke and whatever. These big old bundles out in the water, and we'd be like, look, there's another one. Everybody run out.
Yeah, funny thing, there's no wall there.
Well,
there's no wall, and it doesn't matter.
No, there is no wall. There's no wall. No. It's so much fun.
Mexico's so cool.
It was one of the best times we felt when we, having come back to this country, and we ended up living there for like almost a year. But it was a family thing, taking care of people, and and all of a sudden it was like we were so free. Just this freedom over there.
It felt like living in Africa
in a way, and the people were just so down to earth. Just outside of the city.
No, Mexico's a wonderful country. I used to live in Alamos, and I love being down there. In southern Sonora.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Oh wow, I haven't crossed over there yet.
Yeah,
we haven't
you got to
done that.
Get down there. You'll love it. It's the northernmost, or certainly in the northwest. It's the only true colonial city in the northwest province of New Spain. That era,
Yeah.
So you got to go down there, and then one of my favorite photos of Baja, I have to tell you, is was at El Palomar, just south of Punta Banda.
Oh.
And it's a mural, hand-painted mural. It says Tome Cerveza on it.
Cool.
You'd love it.
I want to see, because there's something that area. There's there's this music festival, and this guy was in the band with came out. It's like, we have to go to the Cactus Stalk. And it was the first thing. And so you go towards the blowhole. So you're south of the Punta Banda, and you go towards the blowhole, and then you take a left on this dirt road. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Past a landfill. And it is the most magical ocean area you'll ever experience. And he drove Nancy's car in reverse down a mountain pass on the way home. And I don't even know how he got home. But we saw some of the craziest bands and the craziest things I've ever experienced that night. That was one of those music festivals that you wake up the next morning and wonder, how really did you get home? And yes, it was backwards.
Well, was Janis Joplin there?
No, she
No.
wasn't. The crawling king snakes were there.
Yeah.
I remember them. And then we met this guy, this crazy guy, and it turned out that he ended up helping me move house once when we lived in the mountains in Julian, San Diego. So isn't that bizarre how things like that all happen? That's the road trip of life. That's the road
Very.
trip
Yeah.
of...
Well, you two sound like a hoot. We've got to get together.
Yeah, we do. I know. It sounds like we're having this conversation like, old friends here. I love it. Okay, so the one thing I want to ask you, now you're going to go on a road trip. We've got to go back to Route 66 here. You're going on a road trip, okay, on Route 66, and you can take 3 musicians in your car with you, alive or passed on, and you're going to play their music in the car, obviously. Okay, so we need to know what car.
Don't get me going on this one.
I know. So 3 musicians.
3 musicians?
But you have to say what kind of car. Is it going to be the electric one, or are you going to have the top down? Or?
Oh, the electric one has a different kind of music. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I suppose you could do that. You could do more traditional stuff. Well, I mean, I mean, this may sound a little corny. I've got a list of road music. That's about 500 songs.
Oh my gosh, you're like us. You're going to have to collaborate with us on our road trip things.
I'm nuts for road music, and I'm trying to figure out how to put it on my web.
Spotify.
But anyway, one of my favorites, especially when it comes to Route 66 or Western Americana, Highway 99, is Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
And he's got a couple songs. One, Ramblin' Man, is one of my favorite songs of all time, and also White Line Fever. It's a great concept.
We play that all the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the swing that Ramblin' Fever has. And let's see. I'm a big
so Merle is going in the
Tom.
car. Merle is getting in the car. He's going to get an electric. You can't put Merle in an electric car. That doesn't work.
No, I don't think
That's
so.
wrong.
No. Yeah.
No, it's wrong.
If it had legs.
No,
you have to have
Merle's
ideally an older car. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have a Cadillac with a big cow thing on the front. Come on.
Oh, the bullhorn.
Yeah. With the big longhorns.
Yeah, it has to have longhorn for Merle.
Yeah.
Buck Owens has one, in Bakersfield at his old bar.
We need to go there.
He's got his convertible with the giant horns on it sitting behind the bar.
Okay,
Did you girls
take it.
know that?
No, we gotta go look.
Right on 99. Yeah.
Man, we gotta communicate.
We know Highway 99 pretty well because we go to the Sequoias all the time.
Oh, you go where? Oh, to Sequoia?
Yeah, Tulare County.
Uh-huh.
All the
I bet
time.
you don't have a photo of Rancho Bakersfield, the neon sign.
No, I don't. That means I suck.
You're not old enough, I think, or you were in Kenya when that was blinking.
Oh.
No, anyway, I mean, you're asking me more about music, right? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, so you've got 3 musicians in your car. So you got the Cadillac with the Longhorn. You got Merle. You get 2 more. Who's going on the road trip?
Well,
if
we're starting kind of from ground zero, Hank Williams and Merle, and then if we really want to put a twist on it, we have Tom Petty.
Oh, he's so the dude. He is the best. He is. You can put Tom Petty in and keep going forever. I mean, he is good road trip music. And Hank the Third. Have you listened to Hank the Third?
Oh yeah.
He's good road trip music.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of the contemporary stuff.
No, he's.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, those would probably be my 3 favorites right off the top of my head. But there's a million. There's Bob Seger, and oh my God, and the Rolling Stones.
They're always on.
Yeah,
they have to be, and Ryan Bingham, and Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Bingham is like, I will play him forever, and Bob Dylan, I can't help it.
But one of the trickiest...
I'm going to take back.
I've
got to have a 4th person in the car.
Okay.
And it's Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he has to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, because his Highway 61 song
Yeah.
has got to be one of my top 5 songs of all time.
And he played with the
he and I
Traveling
were
Wilburys that had Tom Petty in there. We got to have the Traveling Wilburys too.
Yeah,
we need a
like
road.
End of the Line. Yeah.
We need a bus.
We need a bus. I've been thinking about that. I get a 50
I know,
Greyhound.
a big school bus.
That's what, one friend tells Nancy and I, we need to have a bus. And I'm like,
and outfit it.
Could you imagine,
no.
driving a bus? I would paint flowers on it.
I do want to say that one of the most fun things to do is if you can get your hands on the soundtrack from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, do that.
That's
through the Mojaves.
Yeah, you go through the desert with that on. To me, it's
you know where you go if you
That's
go from
an
Roy's
interesting
go from
concept.
Roy's up to Nipton
and play The Good, Bad,
and that's
the
where
Ugly.
you play it.
That's where you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then the Native
That's
American
interesting.
kind of people.
Yeah. It's not a Native American.
Well,
I don't know, but it's you got to do that.
It's Italian American.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
She makes us play it all the time.
Yeah, it's
and whenever you go at Joshua Tree National Park, you play it through there too. It works really well.
Awesome.
Which I know you know about too, because you did some time. That sounds bad. Spent some time in Palm Desert in your life as well, so it's those areas really well.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
This is such a cool conversation. We do have to meet. We have to make that happen before we hit the road full time.
We have to.
Yeah,
it would be fun to meet you because we got a lot of common interests.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
let's go to DeGrazia. We'll go to the gallery. Let's go to the gallery.
Okay.
It's this magical place. We'll do something cool. Absolutely. Everyone, again, go get the book. And we're going to play a song for you from a friend of ours, Shelly King. She's the first lady musician of the state of Texas. She's awesome. Shelly King's good music. It's called Drivin' by Myself from her Fan Faves album. But everybody, again, go get the book, 66 on 66, A Photographer's Journey. And again, by Terrence Moore and through Schaffner Press. You can get on Amazon, all those great places, and also keep up with Terrence Moore, photography.com. Keep up with them on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to go follow you on Instagram from all of our accounts because we're crazy that way. And look forward to following your journeys and also this workshop in Sedona. Please keep us posted on that. That would be great to know about.
Yeah, we'll do. Likewise. And I really am serious. I'd love to meet you. So it would be fun.
Oh yeah, we will.
We'll
we're definitely we're going to make it happen before we get on the road. We got to do it because we leave here in April, beginning of April, I think it is. Then we're full timing it. But Yuma will be our headquarters, so we're never far away, really.
Yuma.
I always nowhere's far away. You can go it takes 3 days to go cross country. So
the way you drive, yes.
No one's far away, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
See?
No, not really. No. Now tell me, where are you? What street are you on now?
We are off of Old McGee.
West Old McGee Trail.
Yeah,
Old McGee.
Yeah, Old McGee. Like where Shannon and McGee and La Choya.
Oh, okay. Down that way.
Yeah.
I told you where I'm looking out the window.
Yeah.
We can see you.
Yeah, we can see you.
It's too much. I had no idea where you are and where you were. And then I saw the 760 area code, and I went, but I had no idea you were right around the corner, literally.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
I saw the 520. I'm like, check that out. Everyone's everywhere these days. And it's like cell phones. You never know. But the cell phone is a Joshua Tree number from back in those days. So you keep them, and there you go. So actually Julian, from when we lived in Julian in the mountains.
Yeah, I was going to say it's San Diego number too.
Yeah. That's
for some.
Yeah. We used to live in the mountains of Julian, and then the mountains of Julian, then Borrego. So we move a lot. So now we just go on the road. We're done with moving. It's a pain in the butt to move. So now we just want to move permanently.
Well, what are you going to drive? What are you going to drive? Speaking of cars and road trips, what are you going to drive when you really hit the road?
Well,
have you figured that out
yet? The same car, which is a RAV4, and her name is Mulva Cleopatra Doppelganger. Just saying.
It's a RAV4, so you can't sleep in it.
No, because we really do so much production. We have radio shows that we do on the road. We do video and all that kind of stuff. We really hotel it across the country. We looked at doing the fifth wheel and like a motor home and all that stuff. And until the internet is where we need it to be, 2020 apparently Elon Musk is going to beam everything up. And so when that happens, then we may get we may do a bus, we may do whatever. But it's so much production that we do that we need the hotel room internet.
So you need, you need to have electricity and a table and yeah.
But we do take 2 chairs, and we take champagne with us everywhere we go. We drink champagne in parks. We take a hike, we film it all, and then we sit and drink champagne in the park with hummingbirds. That's really how we travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic.
Cool. It's absolutely cool. We just, there's a thing, and we try to do as many, unique lodging places as we can, and then we have to have also the Holiday Inns and the Marriotts and all that because they have the internet a lot of the times, and so you have to balance it out. But it's so cool. We want to show America,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to play Paul Simon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's
right
it.
Now.
There's no end to the music.
No,
there's
I know.
No end
well,
to it.
We need to collaborate because Nancy and I are going to do because we try to do as much independent music as possible, and especially since we're on internet radio, you have to. But we're going to do road trip music according to the routes we take.
Right.
And we're going to do playlists so. Spotify.com is your site to do that, and you could create playlists. But we'll have to collaborate because when we do Route 66, you're going to have to be part of this. We're going to have to do something.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I'd love to be.
Yeah,
Speaking
we'll do something
of
cool.
Highway 61, Bob Dylan and I were born in the same hospital.
Well.
In Duluth.
Oh, wow.
Highway 61.
Bob Dylan's the man. See? Highway 61. See,
Not
now
that
we're
I
going to
know him. He's a little older than I am. We weren't there on the same day.
Wow. That's crazy. That's wild. Now I'm going to go listen to Bob Dylan for the rest of the day.
Cool.
I know. It's Music Friday, right? Well, we got to run, Terrence. It has been such a pleasure. Like, my gosh, what a treat speaking with you today.
Yeah, hang on to my number or my email.
Absolutely. We will definitely.
And I'm going to
stay
send you a
connected.
snap from Paloma.
Please do.
Should I send it to the 760?
I think I know exactly where you're talking about. I know where you're. I swear, I know exactly.
It's a little store, liquor store.
Yeah.
Store on the right side of the road, on the ocean side of the road, but in the hills there, just south of Punta Banda.
Cool.
I think it was connected to Celia's. There was also a bar and a restaurant called La Paloma, right there on the right-hand side, and it had a surfboard. And
that's
things.
the same place. That's the same place.
Cool.
Oh my God.
We might have run
into
into
Baja since I was 13.
We could have maybe run into each other and not even known it.
It's very likely.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Oh, please send me that photo. I really want to see it. It can make me homesick. Yeah. That's
cool.
awesome. Well, we're going to play the song Driving By Myself, which you shouldn't do on a road trip, but this is a good song because it's Shelly King, and she's a badass. So here it is, everyone. Driving By Myself. Keep up with her at shellyking.com, and also go to Terrence Moore online and go get the book, 66 on 66. Thank you all for joining us here on Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com. Thanks, Terrence. You take care.
Thank you. Glad to be part of it. Bye.
For sure. Thank you.